Welcome back to Marwell Manor Farm for episode 8 with me, MrSealyp. I don't often use the ridge markers because I don't often do seeding, fertilising, those jobs in cab. I normally do it out of cab because it's easier to do. I thought I'd give it a go again. I've done it every now and again, but not very often, and it works alright. So yeah, just following that marker line from the previous run round, keep that in the middle of the bonnet, sorted. It's all good. Need to get this finished for Farmer Eric as soon as possible. Now, I don't just do subscriber contracts. I will be doing in-game contracts. There are only 3 or 4 fields you can actually do them at the moment, but I've got another one for field 1. This is for harvesting, so I'm borrowing equipment. But I'm just thinking actually now, this is going to be too big probably to take along the road, and this is my point I made before. What I like about different maps and the different machinery you can use, because if I was upgrading my harvesters and stuff like that, I wouldn't go for anything this big on this map. I'm surprised actually that it gives you the option to have them in the contracts considering the size of the map. So I'm going to go this way. It's going to be far easier than having to negotiate traffic. I'm just thinking actually, is the bridge wide enough for this? That like concrete should be, shouldn't it? Whether in real life it would take the weight of this without cracking or causing any problems. Oh yeah, it's plenty wide enough. No worries at all. Yeah, so that's what I mean. I wouldn't, generally speaking, wouldn't go for stuff this big. Funny story to go along with this episode. I recorded pretty much all of it. I normally work out roughly where I'm going to edit to, and then I'll go out, I'll edit, work out what I need. Drive over my own crops, genius. And what I normally do then is go back in and just do the last little bit to make up what I need. Recorded it all, came into edit, sound is fine, no voice. My voice, nothing. Didn't record anything that went through my microphone on any of the clips. I thought maybe it's one clip, maybe nothing. So this is all being added on extra on top. It's very weird. I don't know why it's done it, but there you go. Strange, isn't it? Now this is the bit where I'm not sure whether or not the harvester would go through this gap. The harvester will, the header I mean, because weirdly enough the vehicles and stuff, if the hedges have got no collisions, and generally on this map they haven't, but headers, whether it's, I think it's mowers as well maybe, I can't remember now, won't go through. You can't avoid the collisions with the headers. I'm not sure why that is, but anyway, I'm not sure if this gap's wide enough. We'll soon see. So now I'm adding this on the voiceover extra. It sounds like I'm doing it as I'm doing it. I don't want to do it kind of third person. It's going to get confusing. So I'm trying to remember what I said the first time around. For this time around, it's very odd. So I'm going to run around this side first. As I come around the bend, veering to the left, I'll hire a worker, get that to go off on a straight line, and then we need to go and get the lorry to come back for unloading this, which we've also got borrowed. The money has gone down a little bit because I said in the last episode I hadn't paid Silas for the seed we'd used, so that came in at about just over 6,000. So I've paid the 6,000. That's gone out of my account. So we're now down to about 81. Does it say something like that? 81 something. and obviously there's been some worker fees here and there, so that's why the money has dropped a little bit. So what I'll do now is, if I remember correctly, that should go off. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's go and get the truck. I remembered part way back, actually. Thank you for everyone that commented about water, the free water that you can get here at the farm. The only reason I did it in the river was because I was just curious as to whether or not it would work. And it did, but yeah, there's one here. I think there's one at Southview's farm as well, where you can get free water, so thank you for that. The baler, just to the left here, that's from Bearded Farms. I'm probably going to keep hold of that because I'm going to bale the swaths that I get off my own field on field 18. So rather than go off and get the lorry, then come back, and then I'm going to grab the harvester, my harvester now. We'll take this out to field 18 and get that going. So this is going to be a full-on multitasking episode. So I'm going to be bouncing between finishing off field 21 seeding, harvesting the oats on field 18, and finishing off the contract I'm just doing now on field 1. Now this has got the different header. I bought the Rossall Mash power stream, didn't I? And I haven't used it yet. I've had some people tell me that it works really well. Some people say they've had problems and it won't drop down properly to the ground. So yeah, I know. It's an odd one. The fertiliser spreader, I emptied the lime back out of it that I couldn't use on field 19, so that's now there to the left, and I'm going to put the fertiliser back into it. Oh, I know, because I've got a fertiliser field 21 for Farmer Eric. Once it's been seeded, so that way it'll have its seeding, it's been lined, cultivated, wasn't it? Yeah, everything should be fine on that. So let's see then about this old header then. I'm not sure. Oh yes, while I'm here, Michael from the power company that said about the solar panels, he's very keen for us to get on with it, and they're offering grants basically, and the whole premise being that they give you money to buy a solar panel. The deal is then that they're kind of leasing your land, so you get a kickback from them. They place a solar panel, you get a kickback, and they get some of the money too, so it gets split 50-50. Now they're also talking about giving you money to buy land. Well, I thought we've got this bit here behind the barns that's not really used for anything, so if we're going to place a solar panel, we'll probably put it down in here. It kind of makes more sense to me doing it here, and that way then they haven't got to give us any money to buy land. That all gets too complicated. So what will happen is at midnight, whichever size we end up going for, whatever it's earned over the course of the day, I give half back to them. So we're getting paid for our ground and we're getting some free power, and then they get the rest back. That's kind of the best way I could think of doing it. So yeah, not bad. When that gets installed, I'm not entirely sure, but we'll get on with this harvest now, I think. Okay, let's see what this is all about then, shall we? So I just want to make sure the straw swath is enabled. Yeah, because that's saying disable straw swath, so it's already enabled. Some of the harvesters, you have a bit at the back that when you enable or disable it, it moves, so you can tell whether it's in the right position or not. This one doesn't. Nothing visible I can see. Unless I'm being really blind. So the helper over on field 1 is 80% full. That's going to be full very soon. So I'm going to get over there to unload that, to get that going. That's what I mean about bouncing backwards and forwards. But we're at that point now where when you start off the Let's Play, especially when I'm doing subscriber contracts, until you've got fields sown and you've got grass or hay or straw swaths to do bales, you can't do multiple contracts at once, subscriber contracts that is, you kind of get stuck doing one at a time until you've got enough product on hand that you can then start tackling multiple contracts, and then you can start clearing contracts fairly quickly. I need 100,000 litres of oats off this field for John. That was one of the first contracts I got in this from John, and again, I'll get the details of that will come later on, but I've then subsequently had more contracts requiring oats, but some of the contracts require multiple things. There I've got a full grain tank over on field 1. I'm going to have to jump out of this and go and do that in a second. And some of the contracts require oats and straw and something else, and so until I've got those things on hand, it's hard to do those contracts. I can't really do much about it. So what I'll do now is get a worker off, hopefully in a straight line up there. Let's go and get this. I'll need to go and get the truck and trailer first, don't I? It's all kicking off. There's stuff happening everywhere. Right, so I need the truck. Yeah, need the truck to go over to field 1. My harvester has now stopped over on field 18 because it's got a full tank, which means I've got to go and get a tractor and a trailer to go and empty that. Yeah, and then yeah, the baked beans now back over here. That's got an empty tank, but there's not much of the field left. There's only a smallish triangle left to do, so I'm not going to refill the seeder. In the previous episode, I refilled the front tank, 2,200 litres. So what I'm going to do is hook that up and just go back and finish off the field with what's in that front tank. There's no point putting seed back in that seeder. It's just, yeah, it's pointless. I'm not going to use 2,200 litres finishing off that field. So what I'll do then is very quickly we'll grab the front tank. This does rev quite high, doesn't it? Not rev, like the idle speed is quite high, and a couple of people have commented on that. I think you have to just knock it back on the, so I'm not too sure, brake or something. It does settle, it does go back down again, but so what we'll do now, that'll have to go back to field 21, but I'm going to have to do that in a minute. I need to get this lorry over to field 1. Hopefully one of my workers will come over and help me out with this. They'll get that over there. Right, finally. I'll get this over there. I don't know if I mentioned this on Ravenport or not. It's interesting that when you get the lorries or trucks, or what you want to call them, for contracts, how they're always that kind of weird sage kind of colour, aren't they? You don't get any different colours. They're all kind of just basic ugly sage. Unless you really like sage, and I apologise if I've just insulted your favourite colour. It was not my intention. I promise. Right, Battersby Farm on the left. That's going to be happening in an episode coming up. I'm going to slow down for this. You know, people have stickers on the back of their cars saying I slow down for horses. I'm going to get one that says I slow down for butterflies, simply because I don't want to hit one. I think in the update the collisions are going to be removed from the butterflies, if I recall correctly. But can you imagine that, putting in your insurance claim, cause of accident collided with butterfly? I don't think they'd believe that somehow. I really don't think they would. Head-on collision with butterfly. Closing speed of 35 miles an hour. And the butterfly walked away. Walked away? Flew away. Unharmed. Dear me. Delirious, having a wonderful time, living the life of Riley, running around the yard, just having a great time. Oh, I do need to get those horses sorted out. Mind you, I can't really do that until I've got some oats to feed them, so it's probably not a bad idea that I wait. And what we'll do is speak to, is it Marcus over at the livestock market, to see if we can borrow the trailer, their animal trailer, to bring the horses over. It'll all fall into place, it really will. It's like a complicated jigsaw puzzle, and I kind of monitor everything, and if your subscriber contract hasn't come up yet, and I've said to a lot of people that I'll add it to the list, I've got a lot to do. I can't ever guarantee that I'm going to be able to do them or do all of them, but I will try my very best. And sometimes like I say, a lot of them will fall into place, interestingly enough. I'll get to a point where I'll do a harvest and I'll get more than I thought, and I'll be able to knock 3-4 contracts on the head in one go, you know. So they will come up, don't worry. Right, that's filling. Trailer on the back of the Massey. Let's go and unload our harvester. Crazy day on the farm today. Crazy. But fulfilling, you know, that's the great thing. Yes, as I was saying, I need to get 100,000 litres off of this field, at least to cover John's contract. Now, John said money's no object. I will go into more details on the contract when I'm ready to fulfil the contract. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get it based upon. I've done up this strip, these little kind of peripheral bits on the left hand side, and across the top. Haven't quite got right way across the top here, and the harvest is full, which holds 8,600. Based upon that, I'm extrapolating that I think we're going to get more than 100,000 litres. I hope we are. That way I can fulfil more than one contract with these oats. Plus I need some oats left for horses. I don't really want to have to redo another field. Right, that's now saying the worker's finished. That's over on field 21. That's the worker that's doing Farmer Eric's field at the moment. And it's not. It's got quite a steep triangle left to do. And every time it hits the side of that triangle, it can't work out where it's got to go back to, so it keeps saying it's finished, and it hasn't yet. So we'll get there. Right, what I'll do now, I'm going to run 2 headlands up this end. That way it can run up and down. It's got plenty of room to turn around without hitting the hedge at the end. That's the theory behind this. This header, I had a few issues at the start. For some reason, when I set it off and hired a worker, it went up to the top end of the field, fine, like this. Then it lifted the header, turned round, and it came all the way back down the field, supposedly harvesting, but the header hadn't quite touched the floor. So although it went down the entire strip, it didn't actually harvest any crop whatsoever, which was really weird. So I left the header running, the harvester running, the rotor going, and just raised and lowered the header a couple of times, and it's been fine since then. It's a bit weird. I don't know why. That could be the problem people have been having. I just found that I raised and lowered it, and it hasn't done it since. So yeah, that's why I took over and did this headland across the top, because it turned round and it went all the way down the other side and didn't actually harvest anything. I'm not sure what I did there. Just testing. So this will carry on for a bit. What do I need to do next? That's the question. Probably going to do a baling some of this straw actually. I do have some straw bale contracts that require fulfilling as well. I'm back from outer space now. I can't believe I was going to break into song. Right, other contracts are going fantastically. Everyone's working, no problem at all. I had the same problem over on field 1. That harvester kept hitting the hedge at either end, so I'd stuck in a couple more headlands either end of field 1. That's now running fine. Weirdly, the worker over on field 21, as it's got that triangle's got smaller, it's now turning around no problem at all. So happy days all round. We're looking good on here so far. I've taken the first full load of 29,000 litres, has gone, and I've put that into storage. I'm going to put it all into storage, everything I get off this field to start off with. The silo at the farm says it holds 700,000 litres. Now I'm not sure, Because there's a silo. No, because that would be silo other, isn't it? I'll have to check that later. It says it holds 700,000 litres. Whether that's split between here and Southview's farm, or each one holds 700,000, I'm not too sure. So I'm going to put it all in there. We'll work out what we've got at the end of the day. Full grain tank again. And what was I going to say? Yeah, and then we'll disperse the oats as we need to. It's like the advert for is it Quaker Oats? Was it Oats So Simple? They do those little sachets. Oats So Good. Anyway, there you go. There's something for the thumbnail. Haha! I have these little brain waves every now and again. It's very peculiar. Another full tank. But it's all going well. I think we're going to smash 100,000 litres, you know. What's my prediction? What do I reckon? Based on what we've got so far. 160k. That's a bold statement. 160,000 litres? Yeah, let's say 160,000. I wonder how close I'm going to get to that. Who knows? One of the contracts I've got for Oats is for, it's brilliant, it's a mounted police, I think, I'm assuming Canada, I have to check the contract, and they originally wanted bales and oats, and I got an updated one from the chief of police, or from the guy saying that the chief of police managed to source bales, so they only need oats now, so they've increased the request for oats, but dropped the bales part of it. Weirdly enough, with what I'm going to get off here, I could have actually done the bales as well, but that's not a problem. John's contract, I kind of started saying, then I got a little bit sidetracked. Is for 100,000 litres, and he's desperate. So that's going to pay quite well. Not ridiculously well, not like 500 grand or anything mental, but you know, it'll pay alright, I think. This is where we can start doing well. Okay. Field 1. This is the first full load off of field 1. There's not much left to harvest on the field, to be fair. We're not going to get, I don't know how much more off of it, 20k maybe. So I don't know actually, in fact we haven't got much left to do. What I'm going to get, that's what I don't normally do in cab, you know what I'm like for this junction. As you can see ahead of us, the baked bean is done. Farmer Eric's field is seeded with corn. That's going to be going to Rainbow Ridge Stores. He has to deal with them. They request a particular crop with him, and like I say, right back from the very first episodes, I'm doing him a favour because of an injury sustained while out on the source with myself and Man Cave Beer Reviews. Oh dear. So what do I reckon? What's this going to be? Of the contract, what do we reckon? 60%, 65%? If I'm only going to get something along those lines, maybe 70. That might be pushing it a little bit. 70% complete, I don't know. Good thing with canola, well, I mean, I've got this on normal economy, not easy economy, so I'm basing my ideas around what I was getting on Ravenport. But on Ravenport I was going to start from scratch, but then I put it on easy economy. So generally, well, that's not bad. That's more I thought it was going to be. Okay. Yeah, so generally speaking, when you do your harvest, for other people that is, when you deliver what they require, there's normally an excess over the top. And that excess you get paid for, because that's crop they weren't expecting, so you kind of get paid for it. Which you probably already know that, but you might be new to the game, you might be new to my channel, you know. And this is it, the last bit. It wasn't quite 20k, it wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be. And like I say, because I've got this on normal, I'm not going to make the, because on Ravenport I'm making quite big chunks of money actually on some of the contracts, especially things like canola, soybean that pay well anyway. So we'll see what we're going to make over and above. The contract's worth about 8 grand, I think it was. No, just over 5 grand. That's all right. If the contract's worth 8, so that's worked out about 13 grand for that contract on field 1. Happy with that. We will complete that contract momentarily. So that's that done. Field 21's done. So we're just working on field 18 now. So the mayhem of the start of the episode, where I was multitasking over the place, is done. So let's complete that contract. 7979. Okay, weird. Let's collect on that. That's because I borrowed their equipment, didn't I? I'm not going to take on another one at the moment. Now, just when I thought the multitasking part of the episode was over, I thought, you know what, while the harvest is going, I might as well get baling. You know, I've got one, I think, for 10 bales, which is going up to Yorkshire if I remember correctly. Again, when these are ready, I will go into more detail for the people, why they wanted them and that kind of thing. I know I keep saying that and I apologise, but I don't want people to think he's forgotten who I am, he's forgotten my name, he doesn't know, you know. I will do it, I'll just, you know. I've got one that wants 750 straw bales in batches of 36 if I can. It pays quite well, and after they get the first 15% of the contract, they will pay out the contract in full until I then deliver, you know, 36 at a time when I've got them, which is great, which means I can get a payout. You know, that's a lot of bales. I think it worked it out, it was 3 million litres worth or something crazy, but again I'll go into more detail on that. So I thought I'd get this done. I've got one for 20, I think. Then there's the contract for Marwell Zoo that want 8 of each type per day, but obviously I used all my hay ones the other day, so I haven't got enough of those left, and I've got no silage either yet, so I can't do anything on their contract yet at all. But I can work away at the others, and like I say, this is a byproduct. If I'm doing the oats anyway, if I do the wheat on the next field over for Gypson's Bakery, I might as well use the straw bales. If I've got contracts for them, use them, you know. So this is going to carry on. I'm going to see you in a little while, hopefully when I'm near completion and we know what contracts we can actually fulfill. So I will see you later on. Field 18 is done, and I'm not quite sure. I said 160k I reckoned we'd get off of here. I don't think we've quite done it, because we did already have a little bit in storage, not a huge amount, which does mean I'm going to have to juggle around the contracts a little bit, the ones I can fulfill. The ones I thought I would be able to, I'm not sure. I'll explain that in a moment. The header's going to need a bit of TLC, I think, before we move on to field 15 and do the wheat in that field. That's not going to be in this episode. Now, as you can see, bale-wise, I've gone to the maximum I can do. I've got 32 bales already in my barn. That was from... Actually, I might have exceeded slightly. Just trying to think. Yeah, 32 in the barn that I did from the previous harvest on that field, field 15. I've done 160 on here of straw. I've got one hay that came out of the baler first of all, because it was mostly hay in there. Plus I've got I haven't got 9 over there anymore. That's probably right. I'm just going to say I'm pretty close to the 200 limit. So here's what's going to happen with bales. I've got one contract here for Ethan. Ethan said, could he have 10 straw bales? If there are any available, can I have 10 straw bales? I need them up at my dairy farm in Yorkshire. Absolutely, Ethan. Those 10 bales are going to be winging their way to you very, very shortly. The other contract I have is for 750, and this is mad, this one. This one is, it says, we at Green Energy Solutions are looking for a farmer to deliver 3 million litres of baled straw, 750 bales, to power our renewable energy boiler at our newly expanded site at Thornton Farm. We would be looking for you to drop the bales at a pre-arranged site in multiples of 36. These will then be collected that night. We will be willing to pay £276,000 in addition to providing you with the baler to ensure adequate compaction. We've already got the baler from Bearded Farm, so if we're fine on that. We would be happy to pay you the full amount after we have received 15% of the total amount. This is to make sure you deliver on the contract after being let down in the past by previous contractors. We hope you will accept this contract and that moving forward MrSealyp contracts would consider becoming one of our main supply routes. Now 10% of 750 barrels is 75. Add on another 32.5 or whatever you want to put on that. That puts us at 80, what am I talking about? 100, 105, 108. Okay, so 10 that are going to go to Ethan up in Yorkshire leaves me with 150. I need 110 to make 15%, thereabouts. So they're going to get 150. So they're going to more than get, they're going to get more than the 15% they required. That's absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to do now is unload the remainder of this 5,476 litres. So that's 2 contracts. Well, one will be partly done because I'm still going to have to deliver another 500 bales. Not 500 bales, 600 bales. Good grief, that's terrifying. So what we'll do is every time I do any fields with wheat or whatever and we do baling, we'll just send 36 off to Green Energy Solutions, but at least we'll get a big chunk of money. The 100,000 litres of oats that John required. Let's go to John's contract. 100k oats. Right, swing that round. Trying to hit anything on the way round. I should have gone the other way, shouldn't I? Then I wouldn't be doing an Austin Powers 3-point turn. I am making a meal of this. Let's close the harvester down for the moment. Look that up. Beacon off. We'll sort out the header on that later. Right, so I have a large farm with 3 large horse stables and 2 small fields. I am unable to keep up with the demand of the horses' feed, but I'm willing to pay top dollar for oats and pay all rental fees and shipping costs for 100,000 litres of oats. Whatever the cost, I will pay! Exclamation mark. He's on the Alps map in the northern part of Europe. Please help me out. If you can, please help me and my horses. Thank you and God bless. Now, as it stands at the moment, Rainbow Ridge Stores is paying 1,100 and something for 1,000 litres. John at his stables have agreed to pay 1,750. 1,750. So it's a little bit above what they're offering at Rainbow Ridge Stores, but they're desperate. So at the end of the day, you know, which puts it at 100,000 litres will give me 175,000. Again, not bad. That's 2 quite big payouts. So what do we actually have in store? Let's zoom in. Oats, 158,889. Didn't quite hit the 160,000. That said, I can do John's contract, no problem at all. So that's John's sorted. That's going to be winging its way to you, John. Don't you worry. That's John's sorted. Right, I have got Farmer John. This is a different John, John. This was for 20,000 litres of oats. My name is Farmer John. I'm looking for 20,000 litres of oats. My oats can be delivered to Rainbow Ridge Stores to be transported. It says to New. Not sure where that is. He did say would pay me in hay But I said I've got plenty of hay bales, I haven't got to worry, so we're just going to, whatever the price is they're paying at Rainbow Ridge stores is what we're going to get paid for that. So that'll be another 20,000 litres, that's going to be going off. And then I've got a contract for A. Miller, and A. Miller said, this is A. Miller Horse Farm. We're a small horse and arable farm based in Ravenport, but our oat crop withered and we need oats. If you could send 10,000 litres of oats to Ravenport, I could give you whatever piece of equipment you need. Don't need equipment, that's fine. Again, that'll just be whatever they're paying at Rainbow Ridge. That's where everything gets dispatched out of. So that'll be A. Miller Farms done as well. The one that I can't do at the moment is the one for the Chief of Police. So it says the local horse-mounted police department needs 20 straw bales and 40,000 litres of oats. It was a nasty drought and most of the farmers lost their crop. The chief is willing to pay 50,000 for them. We will cover shipping here to the States. The update then says he was able to get straw bales, but he needs an extra 10,000 litres of oats. He's willing to up the price to 60k, which means they need 50,000 litres of oats, which I can't fulfil at the moment. So what I am going to do is I'm going to repurpose field 15. Once we get the wheat off of field 15, I'm going to reseed that with oats. That means I can then fulfill the contract there. Field 18 next to us, that is going to be repurposed for sugar beet. So we're going to do a sugar beet seeding. So we're going to have to do fertilising and cultivating and whatnot. I'm going to have to lease a planter to do sugar beet, but this will be sugar beet, and I've got 2 contracts for 200k each, which means I need to get 400,000 litres of this. So I've got a busy few hours ahead of me now because I've got a lot of bales to shift. I've got 100,000 litres to go to be shipped for John, 10,000 litres for A. Miller, and 20,000 litres to Farmer John. Which does mean though I've knocked 4-5 contracts on the head just by doing that one field, which I'm really pleased with. I've still got a load of straw left on this field. Like I say, I'm up to 160 here, plus what I've got there, plus the hay takes me up to almost 200 bales. I've got a load of straw swath left over. So what I will probably do is clear all of this, get that shipped off on its way to Green Energy Solutions, and then I'll bale up the rest of it, which again could probably get shipped to them, or I might put it in storage. I really need a hayloft. I'm thinking if I get the payments, because I'll have straw swath coming off of the next field, field 15 as well, when I do the wheat in there. Bear with me on this. I'll have straw swath off of this field too. I'll be able to fulfill Gibson's Bakery's wheat contract off this and more straw. If I get a hayloft with the payments I'm getting, I can put a load of straw into storage in preparation for the cows, because I've got a few cow contracts as well. So yeah, it's craziness. I've got silage bale contracts to do, I've got a load of logging contracts to do. I've got one contract that's requiring 17,000 litres of soy and 6k beets. The beets I might be able to cover, but what I'm thinking of doing as well as part of this whole complicated situation is buying another field. So what I'm thinking is maybe something like field 23. I don't know if I'll get enough off that. Field 9 maybe? What's field 9 going for? Field 9 is going for 68 grand. That's not bad. What about field 12? What's that going for? That's 79. Field 13 is 95. So if I buy one of those fields, nothing too massive, 16, that's a bit more pricey. Maybe I could get the soybean I need off of one of those fields. I wouldn't mind doing one over there because I haven't really been over that part of the map yet. So like I say, once we get our payments, I'm going to get all these things sorted out now. We'll get our payments in. Next episode, we're going to be focusing on our wheat off of this field here and fulfilling that contract. This is going to need to be sorted out, fertilised, prepped, seeded. So yeah, we've got a lot going on. But I think we've come to the end of this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a little bit mad, but we've got some more contracts sorted out. I'm going to now start. I have to lease the bale collector again, I think. start shipping these bales, and I'll get this loaded up and we'll start shipping the oats. If you have enjoyed it, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.